a time when the entire nation should have united against the Indian imperialism, the top brass political forces have kicked off an internal dispute, engaging themselves in a shameless act of blame game. The government spokesperson Gokul Baskota and main opposition leader Sher Bahadur Deuba have traded blows on the Kalapani issue. Good morning, I'm Amit Becquerel and these are the top stories this hour. Contractors resort to protest challenging the Prime Minister's directive to increase the capital expenses by 50% by next month, demand impunity to their irregularities. Government and the main opposition engaged in a shameless blame game on the Kalapani dispute. Deuba and Baskota both criticized for their remarks. Hong Kong's opposition pro-democracy movement sweeps district council elections. Results a setback to Chief Executive Carrie Lam. And Manchester United held by Sheffield United in a thrilling 3-all draw. The Red Devils languish in the 9th position in the league table. Let's begin with the national political updates. After India unveiled a new political map illustrating Nepal's Kalapani area as its own territory, the incident has become the issue of national discourse recently. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba has himself been drawn into controversy after he alleged Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of collaborating with the Indian government in preparing the controversial map. Speaking at an election assembly organized in Pokhara earlier this week, leader of the main opposition party Deuba insisted that India held consultation with Prime Minister Oli before including Nepal's territory in its new political map.
उनको राष्ट्रवादमा आज कालापानीमा गएर समर्पणमा घोडा टेकेको छ। त्यसकारण ओलीको राष्ट्रवाद कालापानीमा गएर लम्पसार बादमा बढ्यो। यसकारण ओली राष्ट्रवादी नै होइन। यहाँ ओलीले भारतसँग के भित्री सल्लाह गरेर छापेको छ भारतले नक्सा यो। भारतले नक्सा छापेको भने ओलीसँग सल्लाह गरेर छापेको हो। त्यसै छाप्छ। त्यसकारण ओलीको बिना सहमति
The controversial and provocative statement made by former Prime Minister Deuba at a public program has pushed himself into controversy recently. Meanwhile, Minister for Communication and the government spokesperson Gokul Baskota has refuted Deuba's statement.
Sher Bahadur Deuba जीलाई स्पष्ट भन्न चाहन्छु हाम्रो भाषा लरबरिदैन देशभक्तिको प्रश्नमा नाकाबन्दीमा एक शब्द बोल्न नसकेर म्याउ गर्न नसक्ने अब अहिले ठुलठुलो चाहिँ ढाडे बनेर चाहिँ कुर्लेर चुनाव आयो भनेर हुन्छ.
Although the remark made by the leader of the main opposition party regarding the border dispute was outright offensive, the response to it by the incumbent minister too was equally obnoxious. Experts are of the view that such derogatory remarks over the serious issue of border encroachment would not be beneficial to anyone.
त्यतिखेर त सिङ्गो राष्ट्र एक दिका हुनुपर्ने कुरा हो किनभने कालापानी कुनै एउटा पार्टीको मात्र मुद्दा होइन यो सिङ्गो देशको मुद्दा हो जसरी नाकाबन्दीको बेलामा हामी एक दिका भयौं र भारत झुक्न तयार भयो बाध्य भयो झुक्नको लागि त्यो अहिले पनि हामी त्यसै गरी एक दिका हुनुपर्ने खण्ड हो तर त्यो
Nepali Congress President Deuba participated in the all-party meeting called by Prime Minister Oli regarding the border issue. Deuba had then encouraged the government to strongly move forward against the Indian encroachment of Nepal's Kalapani area. He, however, resorted to making the offensive remark at a public function in Pokhara to the surprise of political analysts and public at large. The construction businesses have announced protest programs challenging the Prime Minister's directive to increase the capital expenses up to 50% by next month. The businesses have resorted to protest demanding extension of the project deadlines without charging them fines, doing away with their blacklisting and returning them the annulled contracts, among others. The current government enjoys a 2/3 majority support and the budget was unveiled prior to the start of the current fiscal year. However, only 6% of the capital budget has been spent in the first 4 months of the current fiscal year. The construction businesses carry out development works that are in line with the capital expenses of the country. All the ministries and the government departments have been allocating the construction works to their respective contractor companies. However, the ferry companies have been indulged in significant irregularities in carrying out development works. As a result, the development projects worth 118 billion rupees have remained stranded across the country. Nonetheless, the government has largely failed to take action against the guilty contractors. On the other hand, the contractors have warned of protest instead of abiding by their responsibilities. Moreover, the construction companies have been found more focused on abusing the state coffers and evading punishment rather than expediting the development works. Analysts are of the view that the government should pay serious heed towards the issue and penalize the contractors involved in such malpractices so as to fulfill the people's development aspirations. The Parliament's Finance Committee has repeatedly issued written directives to the government to improve the steady declination of development expenses every year. We have a report.
The scenario of capital expenditure has remained dismal due to the failure of the concerned authorities in abiding by the Parliament's directive. The failure in spending the capital budget has directly affected development works across the country. The Parliament's Finance Committee had directed the ministries and institutions with big portions of the capital expenditure. Majority of ministries have not even prepared budget expenditure schedule even 4 months since the announcement of national budget. It may be recalled that the Finance Committee had asked the ministries to come up with the expenditure list within 15 days of budget announcement. With the prevalent trend of using the budget in the 11th hour, the Finance Committee had urged the ministries to issue their 60% of budget expenditure by the second quarter and up to 90% by the end of the fourth quarter. However, none of the ministries has been able to execute the budget work plan accordingly, as most of them are engaged with paperworks.
In our Public Voice segment, we asked the residents of Dehradun district, how would the ongoing homestay businesses benefit the tourism year 2020? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
होमस्टे सञ्चालन भयो भने अझै धेरै सरकारको लक्ष्य अनुसार पर्यटक अझै धेरै भित्रिन्छन् अनि आम्दानीको स्रोत बढ्छ।
होमस्टेको सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम हाम्रो गुरुङहरुको कल्चर एउटा प्रचार हुने देश विदेश पुग्ने
होमस्टेहरु राम्रोसँग चलायौं भने विदेशीहरु भित्राउनुलाई राम्रो हुन्छ। उनीहरु आएपछि हामीलाई पनि राम्रो हुन्छ, सरकारलाई पनि राम्रो हुन्छ।
हामीले उत्पादन गरेको चीजहरु नि बिक्री गर्न पाइने भयो, बेच्न पाइने भयो।
होमस्टे सञ्चालन गरिसकेपछि हाम्रो घर परिवारको सदस्यहरुलाई पनि रोजगार मिल्यो।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what's your take on construction businesses resorting to protest right after Prime Minister's directive to increase capital expenditure? And options are A, disobedience to the state, B, result of impunity, and C, complex public procurement act. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
Manchester United came back from 2-goal deficit to draw the last night English Premier League fixture against Sheffield United. John Fleck gave the home team, Sheffield United, the lead in the 19th minute, trailing by a goal. There were more miseries for the Red Devils as they conceded another goal early in the second half. However, Manchester United made a strong comeback with 3 goals in dramatic 8 minutes. Brandon Williams scored the first goal for United, followed by goals by substitute Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford. There was more drama in store as Oliver McBurney's 90th minute strike sealed the 3-all draw for Sheffield United, who have climbed to the 6th place, collecting 18 points from 13 matches. Manchester United are in the 9th place with 17 points. It's time now for our special segment, Off the Beat.
Students and teachers from Upper Mustang have descended down to evade dipping temperatures to run their classes. With the advent of cold season, students and teachers from Upper Mustang's community private and Gumba schools have come to lower elevations in Pokhara to run what they call mobile classes. Hemja, Vijaypur, Lakeside, Kaji Pokhari, among other places in Pokhara, are running mobile classes for these students from Upper Mustang. These students have come down to Pokhara for 4 months, where 84 students have formed different groups to run the classes. Some schools from Upper Mustang have their own buildings in Pokhara, while other schools have rented buildings to run these mobile classes. Prior to this arrangement, schools in the high hills of Upper Mustang remained closed for almost 5 months during the winter season. Ride through Sinduli, a bicycle rally from Kathmandu through Sinduli, which lies at a distance of 135 km east from the capital, kicked off from Friday. The bicycle rally will go past Sinduli and cover a distance of 250 km to reach up to Janakpur in Dhanusa district. The bicycle ride has been organized to raise awareness for the conservation of ecology and cultural aspects in the region. Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Yogesh Bhattrai, inaugurated the event at Pasupati Temple premises on Friday. Some 204 cycling enthusiasts, including 18 women, have participated in the event, taking 4 days to cover the distance through Bhaktapur, Kavre, Sinduli, Mahottari and Dhanusa district. A campaign called Prosperous Sinduli has been organizing the event for the past 4 years. The ride was organized from Kathmandu to Sinduli in the first 2 editions, while it has been extended till religious city of Janakpur in the last 2 editions. This is Pratik Rimal for Kantipur News Desk.
And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.